Okay, so can everybody hear me? See me? Good. Uh, there we go. Good morning. Sorry to change things at the last minute. I had an astrology thing I really needed to do, and it made me quite late, and I wanted to still meet with you, so here we are. Thank you for being so flexible with so little information and so late. So let's meditate. We haven't done that for a while. So take your attention inside, just below the belly button. And then allow your mind to fall down into that space. All your attention into that space. Breathing into the space below the belly button and feeling for the space between the breaths. And when you're ready, drop your attention through the energy center at the tip of the tailbone and down into the center of the earth. When you're ready, bring your attention back up to the tip of the tailbone. Again, holding your attention there and breathing into the space between the breaths. Now take your attention to the womb chakra. Again, holding the space between the breaths. When you're ready, bring your attention just below the belly button. When you're ready, gently move your attention to the solar plexus at the base of the rib cage. Breathing into that space and feeling for the space between the breaths. As you're ready, gently allow your attention to rise up to your heart center in the middle of your chest. When you're ready, take your attention to the throat center. When you're ready, allow your attention to rise up through the roof of your mouth into the third eye, above and between your eyebrows, behind and between, sorry. When you're ready, allow your attention to go toward heaven, out the top of your head, into the energy center above the head. And as you're ready, release your attention into the flow in and around our bodies. When you feel ready, gently holding your awareness inside your energetic field, holding to that awareness, gently open your eyes. So first thing I want to say, not channeling, is that I'm not a spiritual teacher. I don't pretend to take responsibility for anyone else's karma or any of those things. I'm a channel, so I bring through information from Anasa. Anasa is in the 12th dimension. I have no capacity to say what the difference is between three-dimensional reality and 12th dimensional reality, because the language I know, English, doesn't hold any of Anasa conceptually. I do know that the greatest, I believe for myself, and assume that it's true for everybody else, that the true purpose of our lives is to know God. And I would even say, as the Catholics do, to know, love, and serve God. That divine source that we all come from and return to, that it's extremely important to be in alignment with that. So as a channel for NASA, it is my hope that what comes through is not contaminated or diluted in any way, or any way influenced by my lack of attainment. And my hope is that you are capable of reaching beyond what is Rebecca to what is Anasa. Just wanted to say all that so that it's clear between us. I'm not interested in power. And my experience is that it's a very tricky thing. But everyone here is mature enough to take responsibility, so it's not such a problem. Having said all that, I'm stepping out of the way, and we welcome your questions. How may we serve today? If I happen to close my eyes, feel free to speak over it. It's not because I'm trying to get away. It's because it's hard to keep them open. So the election last week was wonderful. Yes.
Well, good morning. I just want to say I sure feel a lot of love here, and I'm really grateful for that. I've been struggling a bit, and just with the meditation and being here, uh, has has been very, very nice. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome. The the foundation of meditation and what allows it to be successful for us is the dedication to the love,
Hmm.
the love within ourselves, and bringing that back to ourselves. We are loving that within us, which is the source of that love.
Just feeling a nice connection, uh, almost always here. A wonderful safety and love and acceptance. And thank you.
Mm. There's this big circular growth with the devotion, the love, and the connection. And focusing on that can give us the inspiration to continue to fight despite the feedback in the external world that's not so helpful. Our practice is our salvation in this moment, not in the next life, or not after we die, but in this moment, to be able to be here in equanimity, calm, peace in ourselves. The cruelty we're witnessing is heartbreaking. And this is how we learn about equanimity. Because we know in our heart of hearts that when one of us starves, we all starve. And the generosity of our friends and neighbors responding to this crisis is awesome. The deprivation of spirit in the leadership is awesome in inverse proportion to the cruelty. But as we've been saying, we have to see what we don't want to choose what we do. And that is happening. And the energy to build back better is rising. Our hearts go out to the people who are caught in the suffering of the cruelty. We do everything we can to support as we hold to the vision of alignment with the highest best for the whole. Understanding that as we hold to the peace of our own understanding, that we create within ourselves the capacity for love and sustain that. We welcome your questions. It's hard to speak. The energy is so nourishing that's coming through. We hope you're feeling it. Anything, anybody? Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you're willing to share anything about the latest supermoon we just had
Hmm.
without without taxing you.
At the moment, I'm more focused on the new moon
Mm,
coming up,
when is that?
largely because that's at the beginning of the retreat I'm going on.
Oh,
And there will be an abundance of planets in Scorpio, the house of transformation, and that new moon will also be in Scorpio.
ah,
And I think there are 5 planets in Scorpio on the 20th, so it's a lot of energy there in the house of transformation.
wow.
Yes. So I've been trying to loosely organize some kind of schedule for my personal retreat. So that's why I'm paying attention in that way. The full moon, of course. I'm just feeling the moon now, which is sort of halfway in between. And the interesting thing about moon is that it changes 13 degrees in 20 minutes every day.
Oh, I did not know that.
So the moon goes through a house in 3 days.
Okay, that's moving
Rough-
fast.
Roughly 3 days, yes.
Okay.
Because the houses of the moon, the 27 houses of the moon, as you can tell, 12 doesn't go into 27 with an even number. So the houses of the moon overlap some of the houses in the chart. But each house of the moon is 13 degrees and 20 minutes.
That moves very fast.
Yes. So that means that wherever moon is in your chart will be very changeable
Mm,
because the influences on moon as it travels through the sky,
mm,
everything else is above it.
mm,
So the moon is influenced by everything.
mm.
And interestingly, the houses of the moon all have to do with stars.
Okay.
So it's how the stars influence the moon that creates the houses of the moon. So it's its own star system within the zodiac. And so it can be helpful to know the house of your moon and the star that influences it, the star or group of stars. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's several. And each house of the moon is ruled by a different planet. So each planet rules 3 houses of the moon.
Mm.
And so there are all these influences in Vedic astrology that are happening at the same time. So which parts are influencing us most strongly uh, can vary a lot from day to day, which is why we are so changeable.
Gotcha.
And of course, the moon influences the tides
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. And since we're 60% water, we feel those tides.
Yeah.
And because the moon is the closest to the earth, it has the most influence on us. And part of it is that change is, it keeps our lives interesting. It's not the same from one day to the next.
Yeah.
And we're not the same from one day to the next.
Uh-huh.
And depending on how strong moon is in our charts, then we may be more and less impacted by the changeability. For my chart, which I'll talk about because I know it the best, uh, I have planets in all 3 nakshatras that are ruled by the moon. So my moon itself is in a moon nakshatra. Rahu is in a moon nakshatra. and Jupiter and Venus are in a moon, the third moon nakshatra.
Mm.
And then in the house ruled by moon, Cancer, I have 3 planets. So that's 6 planets that are impacted by moon, which means that I can wake up dedicated to one thing, by the afternoon be dedicated to something else,
Very interesting.
and by the evening be completely focused somewhere else.
Don't get too attached.
Well, it helps to know
Yeah.
that moon has so much power,
Yeah.
because otherwise, one could feel like a crazy person that couldn't concentrate on anything.
Hmm.
So the trick is to be in alignment with whatever's happening in the moment.
Hmm.
And you're right, not too attached.
Well, that's very helpful, uh, because sometimes you feel like, oh my goodness, this feeling's going to go on forever, or you're kind of stuck in it. Because I've been feeling like a bit of death going on with me right now, and so it's really helpful to just hear what you have to say. And I will come and see you to do some astrology.
Yeah. Well, this is the time, this is the death time of the year. If you remember that in the fall,
Yes,
winter, this is when beings decide that they've had enough and they aren't going to go through another winter after this.
yes.
So there's a big letting go between now and February, March,
Uh-huh.
as as the earth itself gets cold, the trees drop all their leaves,
Exactly.
into hibernation and darkness.
Yeah.
Then there will be the rebirth in the spring. So
Mm-hmm.
that we're feeling that in ourselves is a certain kind of alignment. And we can use that to reorganize ourselves through this period so that when the birth of the new season comes, we're ready for that regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
So this can be a potent time of internal release of that which no longer serves, and a beginning to welcome in that which will serve in a finer way.
That really speaks to a particular situation that's going on with me.
Well, you
Yeah.
and I, we have already figured out how similar charts.
Yeah.
Since I'm about to go on personal retreat for very similar reasons,
Yeah.
it's that's in alignment.
Helpful. Thank you. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that there have been several pictures from photographer people that I know coming through my feed about the king tides, pictures at the coast of these amazing waves crashing into the rocks, and it's king tides. So that means that all the moon is pulling really hard.
Yes. It's interesting because my sister lives at the beach and she likes to go away during the king tides because they're so intense. And this year in particular, she's noticing that more and more people are coming for those king tides, and they're quite dangerous. You cannot take your eyes off the ocean if you're walking next to it because it's very, very dangerous. Those sneaker waves can just take you out, and there's nothing you can do.
A couple of people have been swept out. One particular I saw lost their lives. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So it's interesting that people are attracted to going there to witness the king tides, people who don't really know how to be around the ocean. Mm, that's dangerous.
I guess people are looking for that intensity, maybe.
Well, this is what happens when you look for intensity in the external world. There's plenty in the internal world. But if you want to be distracted from that by going to the external world, you're probably right. That's where you have to go to match that internal intensity at this in this period. So that's a really insightful thing to notice.
And I found my emotions kind of bubbling up a lot um lately too. I mean, the beauty of this autumn has just been astounding to me, particularly astounding. Um, cry-worthy astounding, and then and then all the other stuff that's going on the other end of the spectrum. It's just really quite just amazing.
Well, it's amazing in so many ways because there is all the cruelty, and then there's the amazing diversity of heroic response to all of that
Yeah.
that is really so heartwarming. You know, Mom Dami, Mom Donnie, and uh, just the thoughtfulness of many of the people in the judiciary and how they're, you know, trying to fight back. And the creativity, you know, Newsom, Gavin Newsom. And yeah, so there are these and AOC and Bernie out there every day. Just I mean, it's heartwarming to see the people who are willing to risk everything to save everything. And then at the same time, it's very interesting to look at the astrology because this year is very similar to the Revolutionary War. So to notice that we're having taxation without representation, once again, it's just like, oh my God, history's repeating itself.
It's sure a time of learning and growing in a lot of ways, and people finding their power, and it feels to me, and
Yes,
certainly a cry-worthy time. I agree with that. Um,
yeah. But there's the other extreme too. Our neighbor coffee shop, decided they were going to give free breakfast and lunch to anybody who needed it. And within a minute, they had $89,000.
oh,
They have over $300,000
given to them donations.
given to them in donation to
Wow,
support their ability to provide breakfast and lunch to whoever needs it.
that's so beautiful.
Yes, and it's
The
so timely, and
the generosity.
the
Yeah.
generosity is unbelievable.
Yes.
And so when we watch our neighbors doing such things, it's really it shows that this is really a revival of the spirit of the founders to
Yeah.
build back better, to
Yes.
really understand what democracy is. And if you look at it in the big picture, this is a bunch of old white men who are all going to die soon.
Yeah.
And the youngsters have really got good ideas.
Oh, you,
And it will be
nothing,
their time. Yeah.
nothing seems to be wasted in
Right.
one way or
So
another.
so this is a time of, you know, of yes, there's destruction, but the potential that is being revealed for the future is really just awesome.
Real clarity of message in understanding and feeling. Uh, you say when one feels they're starving, we feel it too. So it's
Yes.
that deep. I mean, that's just essential.
I mean, that is empathy,
Yeah.
and that's what's lacking in our leadership.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Well, yeah, this morning, just before we came on, I was looking at the news and Trump is trying to claw back any SNAP payments that have already been made by the states. It's unbelievable. But he couldn't be doing anything that's a more blatant example of the cruelty and destruction, so it will be his downfall.
Yes, it has to be because
Right.
is this an insanity?
It is. It is. Yeah.
Everyone needs to eat. That's the basic. I mean, certainly he eats as much as he wants or doesn't, they're a group, whatever.
Well, he also makes terrible choices. He lives on McDonald's. So,
Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go.
and he has a choice of anything in the world he wants to eat.
Right.
McDonald's and Diet Coke.
Oh my goodness.
Not that I'm against any of those things.
Right. Right.
If that's all you have, that's all you have.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but he is the living embodiment of insatiable desire for for he doesn't even know what. All mine. But it's what we're witnessing as a response to that is incredible empathy and generosity. And I love Portland, the home of the frogs. Mm. And the decision from our local judge that that the National Guard can't be used here. So whenever it looks like time to despair, something very hopeful happens.
People waking up and, this takes a little time, but what stirs people up is just, this is so ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's
We
quite,
cannot really have that.
no, no, we can't allow that.
No, no. It's against life, is what it is.
Mhm. And we're so lucky to have this space. This space to worship love herself in us. And to have the knowledge that, with one deep breath, we can reconnect to all. That makes sense. Hmm. Wow, it goes so fast. Time just moves really fast. Mhm. Mhm. So let's take the last few minutes to sit in contact in our own way. So we want to thank you all for coming today, for being so flexible to come at 11 instead of 10. We really appreciate that. So grateful for our community. So much love to everybody. Thank you. Till next week, and then the next week I'll be gone. But I may do the program from there. We'll see how the internet is. Okay, bye for now.